That's settled on the 25-26 championship season, so there's only one thing left to do, and that is to look at my pre-season predictions. And I'm going to be totally honest with you, there are some absolute howlers in here, so be prepared and stay till the end, because we'll go from best to worst, and you definitely want to stick around for some of these absolutely horrendous shouts. We'll start with some good predictions then, shall we? And we'll start with 3 absolutely spot on. And I think 3 is not a bad return, in all honesty. 12.5% of the league. I think that's okay. I don't think I can take credit for Sheffield Wednesday, who I predicted to finish rock bottom, and they did finish rock bottom. Safe to say I was not the only person who had Sheffield Wednesday to finish rock bottom, but it's one I'll cash in. Look, club that was in turmoil. As I mentioned, everyone probably had Sheffield Wednesday at the very, very least, to be relegated. So I'm not going to take too much credit for that one, but it is one right, theoretically. One I will take credit for is Stoke City. Now, I can't remember if it was the back end of this, or start of this season, or the start of the season before, but I think I had a lot of teams sort of maybe a little bit lower than I had wanted to put them, because of the League One teams and some other teams improving. I think Stoke probably fell into that category. I think Blackburn, later on, who we'll talk about, might fall into that category as well. But to have Stoke in 17th and spot on, considering they had Mark Robins in place at the start of the season, and still do actually, who is very good Championship manager, I thought would have had them proving. And would you say Stoke are a better team this time, well, now, compared to this time last season? I'd probably say so, yes. Although there's probably not much in that. But I did have them in their sort of home since the Championship. Since they've been relegated from the Championship, in the bottom half, in 17th. So I think that's a good prediction from me, but probably not the most sound reasoning if I go look back in that video. QPR is another one I had, but was Bob on, actually. In 15th place, I had them, and they finished 15th. And to be honest, I didn't know what to expect from Julian Stefan. I quite like their summer signings, like Sapoku, Monbarel, who's really impressed, Rich Kone, who's been decent as well. But the problem QPR have had this season is they've been too erratic, and they've had injuries and sort of that forward areas which just held them back, and that's been a real problem this season for Rangers. They've been, as I mentioned, incredibly erratic and inconsistent. So 15, probably not a bad place to put them at the start of the season. And it's come in, so 3, absolutely bang on. Now, moving on to teams who are 1 position out, which I still think is a fabulous range to be in. And there are 6 teams in this list. I think you'll be very interested to hear that they are Oxford, Charlton, Blackburn, Swansea and Bristol City, and Ipswich. Start with Ipswich because they're in a little bit of a league of their own in this particular category. Finished 2nd, and I thought they'd do what Coventry have done to a certain degree, where star power, exceptionally good manager, would just blitz the league. But they had a really poor start. They're playing catch up with Coventry, who they couldn't catch up. Like some Middlesbrough had a hot start. Millwall have just been uber consistent all season. And they've got 2nd place, incredibly consistent at home. Just very good team, and good performance, good enough to get 2nd place on the final day and get promoted. So automatic promotion. So there's 1 place out, which I think is not too bad. Swansea and Bristol City, I am incredibly upset about, because with 15 minutes to go of the 46 game championship season, this would have been going straight into the perfect bang on category. But Swansea, who were drawing 1-1 at home to Charlton, just had to score twice, didn't they? I think Adam Eder scored one of them. Can't remember the other one, but yeah, I'm still upset. I'm still thinking about it. So Swansea overtook City on the final day. They came 11th. Bristol City came 12th. I had it the other way around. Very upset about that. Oxford is a bit of a weird one because they are 1 place out. I predicted them to finish 21st and surviving, but they did go down and finish 22nd. And 3rd bottom, got relegated. I think we're relegated with a game to spare as well. So look, it's 1 on paper, but we know how significant that 1 place is. Charlton and Blackburn, I think, similar to Bristol City and Swansea, I've just got the other way around. And yeah, it's a mesh in here, which are very, very sort of close together. I think I had Charlton to finish 20th. They finished 19th. Blackburn to finish 19th. They finished in 20th place. I think that's a pretty decent prediction. I'm very annoyed about Bristol City and Swansea because literally 15 minutes to go of a 4-6 game championship season. I mean, how much closer can you get? But still, 6 teams, 1 place out. I think that's a pretty good return. Now, moving on to teams I was 2 places out on, and there are 4 in this particular category. They are Watford, Pompey, Wrexham, and Southampton. So quite an interesting mix there. Watford, I predicted to finish in 18th place, presumably to do with Paolo Pezzolano, a bit of an unknown. Sacking Tom Cleverley, that happened last season, was, I think, a bit of a mistake. I don't know. I don't know with Watford. I just put them somewhere in the bottom half. They finished 16th. I don't think that's too bad of a prediction. Pompey had improving from last season's performance. I had them moving into that lower mid-table category, away from the sort of relegation dogfight. They were in a relegation dogfight. They finished in 18th place, actually, so you can swap that with Watford, funnily enough. I had them in 16th. Wrexham, I had in 9th. They finished 7th. I thought they'd be on the cusp of a playoff push, or maybe on the playoffs, and they could have got in, probably should have got in on the final day. Drew 2-2 at home against Middlesbrough, which was ultimately why they didn't get into 6th place. And how different would it have been if they just scored a goal against Middlesbrough? So they finished 7th. I had them 9th. Southampton, I had in 2nd place under Will Still. That went horribly wrong. They eventually finished in 4th in the playoffs, won the playoff semi-final, didn't get to the final for reasons we are all aware of, Spygate and whatnot. I think that in a weird way is an okay prediction. Again, similar to Stoke, but the reversal. If you'd asked me in November or December, whenever Will Still was about to be sacked, if Southampton were going to finish 4th, I'd have said absolutely no chance, but they did. So fair play to Ton Derecker. Am I allowed to say that? It's been a pretty decent performance over the course of the season, but overshadowed by what has been a pretty appalling way to end the season. So 2 places out, 4 teams in that particular bracket. One team I had 3 places out was Norwich City, a kind of blend of the Oxford United prediction and sort of situation surrounding Southampton and Stoke, where there's a line between 6th and 9th, obviously the playoffs. Had Norwich in 6th, they didn't finish in the playoff positions, they finished in 9th. And again, Stoke and Southampton, because if you'd asked me midway through the season, when Liam Manning was probably just about to be sacked, would you have had Norwich anywhere near the top half? 9th place, being in a playoff race, however slim the chances were up until, I think, Swansea game at home for Norwich, I'd have said absolutely no chance. But Philippe Clement, what a job he's done to drag Norwich out of that and comfortably stay up. What a job he's done. So that's a bit of an okay prediction, not the greatest from me. We're getting into some bad prediction territory now, and 5 and 6 positions out. One team I had 5 places out was Millwall, and they finished 3rd. I had them in 8th position. Look, it's not a good prediction from me, because they comfortably finished in the playoffs, never really looked like in any danger of dropping out, and were in serious contention of getting into the top 2. If they won that game at Leicester, they'd be in the Premier League. I mean, just how remarkable is that? But Alex Steele has done a fabulous job over the course of the season, and they deserve all the plaudits they're getting. That one was 5 places out. 2 teams I had 6 places out was Coventry and Derby. I'll start with Derby, actually, because I actually think this is not the worst 6 places out predictions, because I had Derby significantly improving from last season, and I didn't think they'd be better than the League One teams because of the power. And, well, we'll talk about those we'll talk about one League One team coming up, don't worry. But I thought, you know what, they might be better, but I don't see them improving, sort of getting into top half, maybe into the top 10. So that established group that's already there. But what a job John Eustace has done. Again, playoff battle up until the final day. They finished 8th. I had them in 14th. And Coventry is a really bad one, because I didn't have them in automatic promotion, or one of those automatic promotion places. I didn't even have them in the playoffs. I had them in 7th place. I didn't trust Frank Lampard, and yeah, it is backfired pretty horrendously. And I remember my reasoning, actually. It still haunts me to this day of why I differentiated between Coventry and Norwich for one of those playoff positions. And I said the manager. Yeah, that was a bad prediction. So I'm sorry to Coventry and to Derby fans. That's not good for me. These are teams I had 7, 8, and 9 places out. So yeah, these are pretty bad. 7 places out, I had one team, and that was Birmingham City, and this could have been a lot worse. Trust me, 3 wins in their last 5 games for Blues made it slightly more respectable. So thank you, Chris Davies, for not making this a complete horror show, but this is still bad. I had them in 3rd place at the start of the season. The newly promoted League One team, I think I just got carried away with the hype with Birmingham, all that money spent, all that sort of excitement surrounding Birmingham. I think I just got carried away, and yeah, it's bit me on the backside pretty heavily. I had them in 3rd. They finished 10th. It's still a pretty decent season, isn't it? It's not bad. But I think with the expectation, the money spent in particular, yeah, I just got carried away with the excitement, and that's not a good prediction. 2 places out, or 2 teams, sorry, who had 8 places out were Preston North End and Middlesbrough. Preston I had in 22nd place. Look, that's not even the worst relegation prediction. So, and honestly, whatever. I thought the bad negative momentum from back in the last season would carry on. It didn't. They had a good transfer window. They carried themselves forward, and had a good start. I think really well. Yeah, they were in the playoffs for most of the start of the season, first half of the season. So had a pretty significant fall off. I'm sure many people will have Preston down in the bottom again, and Heckingbottom will have them going again, and probably in one of those mid-table positions again. But yeah, that's a bad prediction for me. Middlesbrough, I had in 13th, and to be honest, did anyone see Middlesbrough coming out of nowhere and finishing? Where did they finish in the end? 5th? Probably not. Could have been a lot more for Middlesbrough as well. Could have easily got into the top 2. Just that consistency in terms of back end of the season, or well, not consistency, just bad form in terms of back end of the season, not putting the ball in the back of the net, not taking their chances, has cost Middlesbrough. So there's 2 teams I had in 8 positions out. Can't get my words out. And one team I had 9 positions out was Sheffield United. They finished in 13th position. I had them in 4th. I thought Ruben Sellers would get them going. I was very, very wrong, and he didn't, and they had to revert back to Chris Wilder. Could have been a lot worse, this prediction, but not good either. 4th, I had United. They finished 13th. That is one team, 9 places out. Ouch. Right, these are the 3 teams which are the worst predictions for the 25-26 championship season, and 2 of them might be the worst predictions ever, to be honest. So yeah, let's just get into it. Let's rip the band-aid off, shall we? One team, 11 places out, is West Bromwich Albion. Now, unlike another team we're going to talk about in a second, I didn't know what the points deduction was going to be in the offing. They finished 21st, I think, without the points deduction. Sorry, I think they would have finished in 19th place. Look, it's still not a good prediction because I had Albion in 10th, in the top half, in the top 10. Just not a good prediction at all. They've had a couple of bad managerial hires with Ryan Mason and particularly with Eric Ramsey, who just haven't worked. Firefighter scenario with James Morrison has come in, long unbeaten run, has kept Albion up, but still, that's not a good prediction. Not a good season for Albion with the quality they have on paper. Should be doing a lot better than 21st in the Championship. That's compared to what I'm about to talk about. It's not even a bad prediction really, because I had a team 17 places out. That was Hull City. I had Hull City, and you know when I talked about Preston being the worst, or not being the worst relegation prediction this season, that's because Hull not only throw that out the window, they throw me out the window in the process as well. 23rd is where I had Hull to finish. And not only have they completely not been in any relegation threat whatsoever, they finished in the playoffs. And to put the cherry on top has been pretty shit cake. They've gone and got promoted from 6th place. So just a big slap in the face to myself. 17 places out. I mean, fair play to Sergei Kuric. What a job that is under a transfer embargo. Just a stellar job. Ollie McBurney, what a signing. He's been probably the best signing of the Championship this season. But yeah, fair play to Jurkovic and fair play to Hull. What a performance this season. That's not even the worst prediction this season, because a certain Leicester City not only had to come in and ruin the party, they had to crap all over it. Just absolutely disgusting prediction and disgusting season from Leicester. Just pathetic and relegated in truly appalling form. Year one parachute payments, quality in that squad. 10 years ago, I know it's been mentioned a lot, title winners in the Premier League, best team in England, Europa League campaign, Champions League campaign. Yeah, appalling prediction from Leicester. But I think the focus should be on Leicester themselves. What an appalling season they have had. I had Leicester to finish 5th. It's not like I had Leicester to finish in the top 2. It'd be anywhere near sort of that particular region. I had Leicester in 5th. And it's not the same excuse as West Brom, where I didn't know about the point deduction overhanging them. Kind of thought that was coming. And yet, I had Leicester in 5th. And they've been relegated in second bottom, only ahead of Sheffield Wednesday, who are arguably the worst team this season in Championship history. So, yeah, just appalling from Leicester and appalling from myself. Fair play to Hull, Leicester, go screw yourselves. That is it. I don't want to think about those last 3 predictions anymore. I think I'm just going to throw these notes in the bin. Let me know yours. Let me know your worst predictions from the start of the season in the comment section down below to make myself feel a little bit better. But yeah, that's pretty bad for myself. Let me know your worst predictions. Maybe give me your 5 best, 5 worst, something like that. If you have kept a record of it from the start of the season, that's pretty impressive. There's literally a video of me on the internet where I'm talking about this, so I can't hide away from it any further. So yeah, if you want to check that video out, go back into the channel archives and find that yourself. But yeah, that's pretty bad for myself. Like the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for more, well, Bristol City content if you are new around here predominantly, but Championship content like this also, where I embarrass myself with my Championship opinions, which is clearly the case here, but on a pretty regular basis. So thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much for the support over the course of this season. And yeah, hope to catch you more for 26-25 season. It's a wrap on the 25-26 season. We'll see you for 26-27.